Welcome to my channel, SteveO the Window Cleaner. Today I want to talk about price variations, and that I get asked a lot about, hey, what should I price this at? What should I price that at? And sometimes it's hard because what my prices could be in my area could be different than your prices in your area. So I just kind of want to go over kind of that gray area of pricing that not a lot of videos talk about, at least from what I've seen, and that sometimes everything tries to be so black and white as far as systems, which is great and keeps everything organized, that sometimes as a newbie you can get lost in the idea that something has to be a particular price and it can't be another price. Whenever I do bids, I have my system in that which I price everything at, but then after that I always take into account different elements of the job. So if there's an element of the job that may take longer than other elements of the job, then I might tack on a little extra money. If there are extraordinary large windows that are a lot bigger than what is common, then I'll add some money. So when you see videos on my channel, like last year I released some videos about like storefront pricing, residential pricing. Those are very like midline prices that I do in that video, and sometimes I get comments from subscribers or not subscribers, and they basically say, hey, you know, great video, but I wouldn't use you to price my stuff. Perfectly fine, totally understand, but just know that that pricing is more on like an average to give you kind of an idea. And I think I even say in those videos, like, make sure to kind of really see what works in your area. So what I'm kind of trying to get at here, in that every job, not every job, I don't want to say that, you could kind of alter the price depending on what you see. Like storefronts, say you see a storefront and you price it at $4 a window, it's 10 panes, they're all pretty easy to get to, you do it $40 in and out. But then you have the same type of sets of windows and you have 10 windows at $4 a piece, but on the inside you have a bunch of stuff in the way of every single window. So that time you should maybe even double the charge of that job. So that's a gray area. You still have 10 first floor windows, but you have 10 first floor windows that have a bunch of stuff blocking the inside, making it hard to get to. So you would bump the price up. That's another gray area. That's where, like, with systems and pricing, you could have so many little intricacies in them as far as what would make this job priced at this. When I've worked with other people and had them do one job that was $40 and then another job that was $40, and they say this one job that was $40 took me way longer than this other job at $40, that's because of those small intricacies of it that make it longer. So basically what I'm trying to say is there is a gray area of pricing that you'll have to kind of understand, and you won't be able to train that to all of the people that bid for you in your company, but it's just going to be something that they learn over time. You can't expect it right away, but you as an owner or you as a newbie can understand, or whatever, can understand that there are gray areas with pricing, that not everything has to be by the book of what you've said, as far as like first floor is X amount, second floor is X amount, third floor is X amount. If there's a commercial building and all the first floor panes are 3x4, all the second are 3x4, and all the third floor are 3x4, then you could create a very nice pricing. But let's say all of the first floor are 10x10 and so on. That would be a different pricing for that building. So that's where I want to say, because I get just a lot of questions like, what would you price this at? What would you do this at? Would you do this at the pricing that you talk about in your videos? Not always, you know, and prices can vary by area. So if you live in a city that's very, very busy, those prices could be higher than in a place like where I live, where I don't live in a very busy city like New York City or Chicago or LA or something like that. But I wanted to make this video, and it's not that I'm really talking about like, here's how you should price. It's just more understanding that there can be a gray area to pricing, and to not go by every single little thing you hear as far as trying to be so black and white with pricing. bidding is a thing that takes a long time to get a good grasp on, and I think even veterans in the business would say to you, like, at 30 years, they're still learning, like they still have jobs they come across. If they can't say that, then their ego's too big to explain it. I'm just joking. But that's the thing with pricing. There's always going to be something that comes up through time where you weren't expecting it, and it may take a little bit longer. So give yourself the gray area with pricing. And one other thing I'll mention too is I feel like sometimes this is lost in window cleaning estimates or estimates overall, because everybody wants to have their worth. Like, you have to know your worth, but you also want to make sure to get the jobs, I would say. And I'm willing to give up a little bit to get those jobs if it's between me and another competitor. I'll be honest with you. Oh, this guy's pricing at this. All right, I'll go in at this. You go with me. Boom. That's it. That's fine to do. It's okay to make sure that when you give your first bid, like, okay, this is my high end of the bid, but have in your mind, this is like the lowest I would go with this. Now, the lowest you would go with it, you want to make sure that you're still efficient and making money, but it's fine to have like kind of that space, and that if the customer comes back and says, well, I want to get priced here, that you could still say, okay, that would work for my business. I think that's a very, very smart thing to get used to, and I think that is a very common knowledge, but not everybody I talk to is that very common knowledge. So this video kind of goes a little bit everywhere, but it's more about just knowing that there's a gray area with pricing, and you don't have to be so black and white about it, and just be okay with knowing that a storefront that has 10 windows one place could be differently priced than a storefront that's 10 windows in another place, or a house that's with 30 windows could be different than a house. The price of a house with 30 windows could be different than another house with 30 windows, depending on how it is getting to the windows and how dirty the windows are and all that good stuff. Now, once again, this could be very common knowledge for some of you, but I think it's smart for, I get a lot of people on my channel who are newbies in the business. So that's why I make a lot of these videos, as if you're watching as a newbie. So just know that you can play with your price variations. Don't be so stuck on this is the way this has to be, this is the way this has to be. Now, when you're training people in your business to do bidding, yes, you have to be very black and white, but they'll still learn as time goes on, and you have to be okay with that. Not everything is going to be perfect when they do bids for a while. They're going to learn. I went through that. I know that Jim got mad at me a couple times when I did bids, so it's going to happen. Everybody messes up bids, but just know it's okay to have variations in your bidding. It's okay that you know, in a storefront area, that if you did one job that's the same type of storefront as another and the customers talk, it's okay that your prices don't match, because you could explain to them, well, this is why. And make sure you have a why. If the customer asks, why is my house this amount, but our friend's house is the same house as this amount? Well, that's because XYZ. So do know that. Don't just try to make it more pricey just to make it more pricey. So that's it for today, but I just wanted to make this video because I get so many questions on price variations that I felt like it was just important to make this. So that's it. Hope you have a good one. Talk soon. Peace.